Hey, Jason Palliser here with the No Flipping Excuses Real Estate channel. Don't forget to subscribe. In this video, we're going to be talking about, hey, is every pre-foreclosure a short sale scenario? So is every pre-foreclosure a short sale scenario? So we have people reaching out to us saying, hey, can you let us know a little bit more about these pre-foreclosure leads? Is it always that they're in trouble and they're upside down on the house and this, that, and the other thing? So the answer is pretty simple. No, no, not every pre-foreclosure is a short sale scenario. So I'm going to go over, basically flip over both sides of that coin and talk about it. So the first, we'll start with the answer I said is no. So let's go there. And then we'll talk about situations to where there are short sale situations and what you should maybe think about that. A lot of investors walk away from that, and you shouldn't. Okay. But let's go to the other side. I said no. And you've heard me say it before. I'll say it again. And the reason I infuse this into your brain, this phrase I'm about to say, is that you need to understand that a lot of people enter the marketplace and they go after off-market leads where people are motivated and they view the homeowner as one thing when it's not the case. Bad things happen to good people. I repeat, bad things happen to good people for whatever reason. We could go down that road, but the reason I'm saying that, well, I will go down that road. The reason I'm saying that is that there's people that are going to foreclosure. They're in pre-foreclosure right now that have lots of equity. Okay. They have lots of equity and because something happened, right? Again, I've said it before. I'll say it again. People lose their jobs. They get downsized. Somebody gets in a car accident. Somebody gets sick and they can't work for a while. An unexpected thing happens. A tree falls on the roof. You didn't have proper coverage. A family member can't live on their own anymore and no one's around, and the medical coverage they have to keep them alive and healthy doesn't cover the $1,000 a month in different prescriptions that they have to take. I could go on and on and on and on. Somebody mismanaged their finances and didn't tell their spouse. Being a banker for 27 years, I've run into that situation tons of times. So what I'm simply saying here is this. People have a lot of equity and are on their way to pre-foreclosure for the things that I just mentioned. And let's dissect that a little bit, because I know as you hear this and as a logical person, you would think, well, Jason, they've got equity. They've got equity, so why don't they just solve the problem by getting extra money out of their house or getting a loan? Or why don't they just sell their house and solve this financial crisis that they're in or issue? Here's what you need to know and understand. Here's where I serve you best as you're learning from us on our No Flipping Excuses channel. And again, if you like what we're talking about, drop a comment, click a like, and do not forget to subscribe and share it with other investors. That's the way to keep putting me to work for you. You let me know what you need, and myself, the team, will deliver it. Okay. Now, having said that, why don't they just sell their house? This is where I help you enter the mind and the brain space of this type of off-market, highly motivated lead. Okay. Here's what you need to understand. They're embarrassed. They're in denial. Jason, why don't they go get a loan? So let's start breaking this down. Jason, hey, why? Jason, they have 200 grand in equity. Why don't they go get a loan? They've missed payments. When you're in pre-foreclosure, it's because the banks don't file pre-foreclosure. You've been making your payments on time. I'm going to go ahead and file for pre-foreclosure. That is not how this goes down. They've missed payments. And if they've missed payments, you know what's going to be very difficult for them to do? Get a loan. Speaker on guidelines, 20 years. That's how I started my speaking career with all the groups, the Kiyosaki's, the flipping Bostons and all that other good stuff. They hired me for my funding expertise. I was an expert on guidelines on what you can and can't do. You may not be aware of this. And again, we just say, hey, is every pre-foreclosure a short sale situation because they're upside down? No, people have lots of equity, but they can't unlock it. You know why? If you're 60 days behind on your mortgage, you've just eliminated easily 90% of the banks in America that would be open to lending to you just because you missed 2 payments. If you miss a 3rd payment, now you're down to just a couple. And I'm teaching you to enter the brain space of this type of lead. So listen to me when I say this. Hey, while you're learning, stop for a second and get the book, The Art of Flipping Deals. Here's how easy it is. Just go to the website, theflippingbook.com, and what you're going to have is an instant download on how we flip deal after deal after deal with predictability that others can't find. The fact that they've missed payments and now there's only a few lenders left that'll even entertain unlocking the equity, which could solve their problem. In today's world where everybody's been, you don't even know where you learned it. Man, I got to have the best credit score ever. Got to protect my credit. Got to have the best credit score. Got to do this. Got to best credit score. If I got a good credit, I got to get the best interest rate. So if they've missed payments and they even broach the subject with the bank, they're like, hey, we got to pull your credit. They immediately get embarrassed. They don't want to have that. They don't want to have that conversation. So a lot of them would literally put their head in the sand all the way, even though they have equity, all the way to foreclosure and end up with nothing to show for it. So one is a level of embarrassment that they have to have somebody look at their credit because everybody's been born and bred and raised that your credit score is everything. No, it isn't. It helps you get stuff at a cheaper rate if you have good credit, but everybody puts so much emphasis and stigma on whether your credit's good or bad. So a lot of people, because of embarrassment and the level of importance that's been put on it, they won't do anything about it. The ones that do reach out, they're in their own head. This is where I'm teaching you right now so you can get inside their brain so you can solve their problems. So you better be paying attention. If they reach out and they say, you know what, I know I'm missing payments, but I got to see if I can unlock this equity. Then the banker comes back and say, hey, look, 90-something% of all the banks that I can send you to, I can't. I can send you to these 4 banks. By the way, I know interest rates right now, and I'm just throwing numbers out of thin air. I know interest rates right now are at 5% because you've missed 2 payments and you've been a rolling 60 days late for the last 90 days. Your interest rate is 9.625. Homeowners, good people will have a coronary over that. They'll freak out. They're like, so I can't get 5. I got to get almost double. So they won't do anything. You hear me? They won't do anything just because that interest rate blows their mind. Marching to foreclosure, I'm teaching you how to get inside their brain. So even if they could get a loan, they can't mentally accept that their interest rate might be this. And what happens is you go into panic mode. I'm teaching you how to serve this lead well by teaching you, again, it's just because it's pre-foreclosure doesn't mean that you don't have equity. And I'm just teaching you to get inside their brain right now. They won't take that interest rate because they mentally go into crisis mode. And they're like, well, now I'm going to have that 9.6, blah, blah, blah. And my payment's going to jump $800 a month, even though they could put a cushion of 50 grand in the bank, pay their back payments. And yes, it eats into a little bit of their equity. Yes, their payment's $700 higher when it only should be $400 higher to solve their problem. So they freak out about that and don't do anything about it because their brain in crisis mode tells them I'm going to be at 9.625 forever. That's not the truth. They could start getting their payments back on track. And again, guideline guy, within a year, they could refinance that and bring it back down to 6 point something, but they don't think that far ahead. So does every pre-foreclosure lead happen because they're upside down? No, there's good people that have lots of equity, but they've missed payments and they're embarrassed to have the conversation. Or if they do, they get smacked in the face with the reality of your interest rate is going to skyrocket and they do nothing about it and scramble around. And here's what happens. They run out of time. And then when there's this amount of time left before foreclosure, it's not enough time to get a loan done. And now they're in a pickle. Same thing. Why don't they just list it and sell it? Because they're embarrassed to tell the situation to a real estate agent. Because the first thing, well, why are you going to sell? They'd rather put their head in the sand than have that conversation. Now, just teaching you that there's lots of good deals for you to close in the pre-foreclosure space. And you'd be hard pressed to find a higher level of motivation in that type of lead. Now, on the flip side, remember I said I'd talk to you about the flip side. Some of the pre-foreclosure leads, something bad happened, somebody missed a payment, and there's nothing they can do about it because they can't go get a loan because there is no equity. You feeling me? There is no equity to be had. So they're in a much more difficult situation in a pickle. And so, yes, a lot of pre-foreclosure leads, the person owes more than what the house is worth. So what you would do is entertain, hey, let me talk to the bank and see if they'll accept less as a payoff, which is a short sale. You're selling the house short of what is owed on it. And banks will do that. If the homeowner's upside down, the banks will do that. What you do is you get permission to have the conversation with the bank. Say, hey, I know they owe 200, but right now in the market, houses are worth 190. Now, your first thought might be, okay, well, the bank will accept 190. You still don't have a deal. No, that's where you paint the picture. You get permission to talk to them. What you do is you get pictures to send over to the bank and say, hey, can we request would you accept 140 because it's worth 190? Would you accept 140? Because look, it needs painting. The back deck needs some work. So you take pictures and submit that to them and try and justify why the bank might want to take a lesser payoff. Now, I know as you listen to this, you're like, why would they do that? Why would a bank accept that much less when the house is worth 190? The banks aren't in business of taking over houses, putting them on the market and selling. They're in the business of lending money and getting their payments back. And what did I say in a previous video? And if you haven't, you should watch those videos as well. I specifically said in a previous video, banks, non-performing asset departments, the ones that deal with all the people that are behind, a bank's ability to lend money, okay? A bank's ability to lend money, borrowed it at a really good interest rate from the Federal Reserve and lend it out for more. That's what banks do. Their ability to lend money is also directly related to what percentage delinquency their loans are. So they want to get these bad loans off the books as fast as they can. So would they accept a lower payoff? I hope this is acceptable on YouTube, but you bet your ass they will. Do you get that? You bet your sweet patootie they will, because it gets it off the books. They may want to borrow from the Federal Reserve $50 million, and they have to borrow it at a 0.5% higher rate because their delinquency rate's too high. That's astronomical if they have to borrow it even at a 0.5% higher. Well, if they get a few of these off the books and they fall back into compliance, now they can borrow $50 million at a 0.5% less and lend it out and make a good profit. Do you see where the bank might have a level of motivation to accept a lower payoff when someone's upside down? So what does that mean to you? I always we circle back and equate this to you. That simply means this: don't walk away. Do not walk away from a pre-foreclosure lead that at a glance looks like it has no equity and you don't think that there's any way to get the deal done. Go and talk to the bank, get permission to talk to them, show them all the work that needs to be done to the house, if there's any work that needs to be done, and justify why you want a lower payoff. What you need to understand is that they might be motivated to go ahead and accept it to get back in compliance, because that one loan that they accept a little bit off to get off their books may put them back into compliance to borrow $50 million at a 0.5% better rate. You getting it now? So what I want you to do is listen to this, take notes, know that, understand it, so you can have intelligent conversations with these homeowners that deserve to talk to you. Okay, so stay tuned. We got some more good stuff coming. What I want you to do is subscribe to the channel and share it with other investors. And let's celebrate. When you share it with other people, let me know. Hit me up on social media, wherever you want to, on the channel, comment, like, let me know, and we'll high five, and we'd love to talk to you as well. And by the way, if you want to talk to us about attacking your marketplace, simply just go to myblueprintcall.com, because we do 2-day blueprints where we attack cities 34 ways. By the way, when you have the conversation with us, 18 of the 34 ways that we attack a city and grab off-market properties are free. They don't cost you anything. Costs you $0.0. So if you want to grow your business and you feel like there's competition, all that good stuff, then just schedule a call, answer some questions, be truthful with your answers, please, so we can have an intelligent conversation. But we would love to talk to you about it. Just go to myblueprintcall.com. And once you're done filling out the questions, you'll have a direct link to my calendar. Here's to your investment success. We look forward to talking to you. We look forward to making an impact on your business, and every benchmark that you set, we want to help you hit. See you soon.